minutes. Okay, in 50 minutes, you're supposed to be able to analyze the documents and then write the essay. So if we spend too much time today in class going over the essays, it's not going to do you any favors. Can we agree? So over the course of the entire year, I kept telling you, you have to do happy, you have to do happy, you have to do happy. Okay? Because we needed to really focus on historical context, the audience, the purpose, point of view, and the why is this significant, correct? Well, now that I've taught you to think like that when you're reading a primary source, we don't have time for that crap, right? But we now know how to read a document to find that stuff. Now we're supposed to do it in a much faster pace. So we're not writing out a happy. The only thing we're going to be writing out every single time we come across one is the point of view. Because it's important that we are going back and we are including that as we write. So, here we go. If you haven't looked at the prompt, it's about cricket and politics. It's one of my favorite DBQs, to be quite honest. All right, here we go. So, using the following documents, analyze the relationship between cricket and politics in South Asia. What is cricket? It's a sport. It's the one with the bats. Okay? Not like baseball bats, or like flat bats. And politics in South Asia. South Asia is what? India. From 1880 to 2005. Identify an additional document. Cross that off. You don't have to do that. We have a new rubric. And briefly explain how it would help analyze the relationship between cricket and politics. Now, historical background. Should we read it or should we not? Yes, it's a gift from the AP gods, friends. So, absolutely you have to read it. It is there as a hint. It is a gift, so please appreciate it. Great Britain directly ruled the Indian subcontinent from 1858 to 1947, when the colony was split into independent states of predominantly Hindu India and predominantly Muslim Pakistan. If you didn't know that stuff reading off the prompt, you should have known it's India by now, correct? Isn't that nice? You now know when the date ranges are. You know the British completely controlled. And, of course, the creation of 2 Indian states. All right, here we go. So I'm going to model how to do point of view for the first 2, and then you guys are going to be doing it. All right, so source 1. Indian cricket players petitioned to Sir James Ferguson, governor of the province of Bombay, 1881. Ever since the British introduced the noble game of cricket among the natives of Bombay nearly 20 years ago, more than 500 young men of all ages and of all castes pursue this healthful sport on the parade ground where they alone are permitted to play, which is the only ground suitable for cricket. Is this positive or negative? Therefore, we can't understand that the comforts and convenience of a half a dozen, so half a dozen is what? 6 English gentlemen who generally play polo should be preferred to the necessary helpful recreation of over 500 native youths. The polo ponies completely ruin the turf and render the ground unsuited to cricket. Under the circumstances, Your Excellency and Council, please request that the English play polo on another spot or allow your petitioners to play along with the English on the ground of the present reserved for the exclusive use of English cricketers, which is much too large for their requirements. Okay, so the point of view. Why is this document being written? Why is this document being written, Rebecca?
Is it to get the government to move a load to another place?
Shows that. Think bigger. Remember, point of view is taking all of your historical context, your audience, your purpose. Shows that the racial bias against Indians are even present in grounds to play on. Grounds to play a British sport. Okay, and what else are we seeing here? If they're not allowed to play on the same thing, what do we call it? Segregation. All right, perfect. That's all. Shows the racial bias against Indians are even present in playing a British sport and segregation. All right, flip it over. So we got a picture. London newspaper reporter Prince proposed a visit to England in 1899. This brilliant Indian cricketer, Prince intends to return to England at Easter and will join the Sussex team, who are doubtless very glad to know this as before. At the end of the season, he will again visit India at the head of a team of English players, not too strong, but strong enough. Then in 1900, he will come back to Old England as captain and represent the representative of the Indian cricket team. Oh, he's not here. All right, what do we got? What is the point of view? The only royalty are seen as equals in quotes. Why would I put it in quotes? Is he really considered an equal? No, but he still gets to play. Only royalty are seen as equals to play with the Brits. Okay, and it's a spectacle. A spectacle to see Indians playing with Brits. There you go. So it's a whole of attraction. All right. Document 3. You have 1 minute. Read it. Find the point of view. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your neighbor and see if you got it. You got 1 minute. Go. Turn to a neighbor and see if you got it. And you jump over here. Come sit next to me. Because Georgia was here first period, so she's writing. So sit here and join Julia. And 3, 2, 1. What is the point of view, Matthew?
It's that cricket has like a positive side to it, and like a bunch of bad stuff is happening to the Indians. Cricket is not a positive thing.
Who wrote the piece?
So it's biased.
Against who? So is it really helping the Indian people? So what is it really doing, Matthew?
Down. Well, it's not like supporting it.
It's a tool. It's a British tool to improve the colonizing influences, right? It makes them more powerful. Do we agree? Yes? If they're all trying to be like the British are held in higher esteem because they're great players and all that crap. That is the big goal. All right, number 4. Read it. You got 1 minute. Go. You got to be paying attention to who wrote the piece, ladies and gentlemen. Just because we're not sitting there doing a happy, you still have to read the top parts and figure out who it is, what is their motivation. That's what point of view is. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your neighbor and discuss. Go. Guys, think big picture. Don't say just because he's different caste he gets accepted. What is the big picture? 3, 2, 1. Greta, what do we got? You do need a primary source for that, right? So how does cricket play a role in that, though? No. Guys, come on. Rebecca.
Would it be that the social classes don't affect cricket playing in Indians?
I wouldn't say don't affect, but it's starting to break, correct? Because it was a big deal that they let him in, so you can't say it has no effect. But you can say that cricket opens the door to eliminating caste limitations. Indians are using it as a unifying force. Would you agree? Think big picture here, people. Cricket opens the door to eliminating caste. Okay, Indians are using it as a unifying force. All right, document 5. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your neighbor, discuss. Go. Three, 2, 1. Sydney, what do you got? There you go. Perfect. Very nice, Sydney. Okay, it should be a unifying force. Who's the guy behind it? And what is he famous for? Pakistan. Greatest in the state of Pakistan. You better be reading those introduction, people. What do you got? Because this is 1924. Huh? When is the Pakistan created? 47. So it's more of a unifying force against the British. Then he takes the opportunity, remember, once the British are out, to create the state of Pakistan. All right, let's go number 6. Number 6, go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your neighbor. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do we got, Julia?
They said that India is like when they're playing, that's when they get to kind of show like their pride and like.
What do we call that, pride?
Oh wait,
Nationalism. Okay, so point of view, our cloud is to beat them on the field, never in real life. Unity, nationalism is starting to grow. There you go. All right, document 7, let's go. Growth of nationalism is a big deal. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Talk to your neighbor. Go. All right, here we go. Kayla, what is it?
The British are stirring up conflict where they used to be seen as
They were never seen as equals. Is it the British are doing it or the Indians doing it to themselves? The Indians are doing it to themselves. So, cricket exposes the cracks in Indian society. Okay? It's the Indians doing it to themselves. They're the ones dividing themselves amongst amongst religious teams. The British were only doing it by race, correct? They just wanted to keep the brown people away from them. All right, 8, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Talk to your buddy. Go. Three, 2, 1. Evelyn, what do you got? There you go. Perfect. Although divisions exist, we need to seek unification. Perfect. All right. Let's look at number 9. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do you got, Ian?
They're using nationalism instead of religionism for countries. They don't want any Muslims to celebrate. They want India to celebrate.
There you go. No more religious zealots. Zealots are your extremists. All right, zealots. Zealots. There you go. Zealots. Zealots. All right, 10. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your neighbor and share. Go. Three, 2, 1. Miss Murphy, what do you got? Yeah, absolutely. That there's more that unifies us than divides us. Perfect. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you just did is you found the point of view for every single document. That's awesome. Do you know how long this would have taken us 30 weeks ago? Jesus Christ. Huh? I would give you homework and it would take you hours, correct? And you would come up. So hopefully you see how fast you've grown. Yes? Over the course. So with that being said, I do want to refresh. What does a DBQ format look like? Okay, you don't have to write this down. If you need this, if DBQ is your weakest, then I'd maybe write this down. It depends on what you need. So your DBQ format is, so for the first one is intro / restate the prompt. List your 3 groups / frame your argument. Okay. Then contextualization, like what is happening in the world. Okay. So that's your first paragraph. Your second paragraph, or your first like real paragraph, you of course restate prompt. An intro, the group, with what? With what listed? Docs listed. Okay? Then, explain. Explain what the group stands for. introduce docs and explain how they demonstrate / support the group right in each doc's point of view. Everyone we just did it. I would include it somewhere in your essay, correct? So when you're talking about document 3, you should be just saying Indians can play, or whatever document 3 is, British tool for improving their colonizing efforts. That's really what you need to write for document 3, correct? Once we shape the argument, it's already there. And then you need outside evidence. That's it. That's it. And then, of course, you have paragraph 3. It's a repeat. And then, of course, you have paragraph 4, which is a repeat. That's it. What do you got?
Do you have to have 3 separate groups? It's very clearly a distinction between positive and negative.
No, I would never, ever, 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 ever do positive and negative. That is so low level and absolute crap now. Yes, you have to think of more complex thing. Absolutely. I could see an argument for a couple other things, but not for positive and negative. Hell no. All right, everyone understand their formats. Okay, so tonight I would have this in mind as you're going through. So let's create our groups. Let's do it. Groups, docs, and this is your justification for argument. Okay, so, all right. Now, it's always important that you reread the prompt before you start your groups. Using the following documents, analyze the relationships between cricket and politics in South Asia from 1880 to 2005. Identify and explain how it would help organize the relationship between cricket and politics. How can we divide these? Oh, and we need a list of the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 documents total. All right, here we go. What is a document that we can use? What is a group we can use? What we got, Natalie?
Unifying India.
Unifying India, absolutely. And what documents would you use? What do you got, Rebecca?
Oh, wait, I was going to say different.
Oh, what group do you think?
Could you say racial bias against Indians?
What do we call racial bias against Indians? Segregation is going to be kind of limited because where are you going to put document 3? What is the point of cricket? Why did the British force their culture? What is it called when you push your culture on a group of people? Not conversion, no. What do you got, Michael? Cultural imperialism, I will absolutely accept. Cultural imperialism. Also, assimilation is also an answer. That was the answer I was looking for. Cultural imperialism is good. All right, so let's put some documents in here, and then we can figure out what we're missing. So, unifying India. What can we talk about for unifying India? Yeah, what documents? 4 works. What do we got, Rebecca? 5 works. What do we got? Gabby? 10 works. What else? Come on, come on, come on. There's a couple more. There's one more you should be able to use. What do you got, Julia? Let's look at 8. Unifying India? Yeah, that totally works. Unifying India? I'll totally take that. All right, there we go. All right, cultural imperialism. What do we got? Where the British are using it as a weapon. What do you got? Abby? 2. Perfect. What else? Michael? 1, definitely. What else? Matthew? 3. Perfect. And then what group is going to include 6, 7, and 9? Look at those documents. What group can we use using those? Abby?
Like religious. Not all of them.
Yeah, we can do. What's the argument used to divide religions? 7. 6 doesn't really help it have that. 6 is all about the Indian state team beating other colonial powers. So does that belong in the group? Don't you think that could go with unifying India?
6 and 9.
6.
Nationalism.
No, let's look at 8. Okay, 8's a good one. Okay, we still need a home for 7 and 9. So look at 7 and 9. Where can we make a group? Natalie?
Nationalism.
Nationalism. Huh?
Isn't that not nationalism? It's like splitting up and swaying India.
Wouldn't 6 go?
It's 6 nationalism.
Well, yeah, of course. Hold on. Let's look at 7. So we need a home for 7.
7 cracks. It's just like
Okay, so can you argue it to make it nationalism, or should it belong somewhere else? Because we need to find a home for 7. The longer we take on this, the less I write, the more you have for homework.
did you
We
say-
need to find a group. Maybe not nationalism, fine. We can cross off nationalism. What can we use?
I mean, couldn't you put 7 nationalism saying like you have to accept their flaws and use that and turn it around?
We can. I could do it. Is that what we want to do? We want to keep nationalism?
Probably,
Okay, we'll keep nationalism. All right, and that's 7. How does 9 fit in? A country. Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. All right. All right, so when we talk about justification, so when we look at unifying India, where should we put it?
Nationalism.
Nationalism, so we'll cross it off here and put it in 6. Perfect. Okay, unifying India. Justification for the argument. The desire to overthrow the British comes from frustration, of suppression, and the growing sense of unity fostered by cricket. Perfect. Done. Colonial cultural imperialism. Okay, the British use it to emphasize their control on all aspects of their subjects' lives to ease ruling over them. Okay, nationalism. Due to the complications of colonialism, the complications of unifying cause India to look at its weaknesses. Perfect, because we have some weird ones, correct? Yes? Perfect. So, here we go. So, what we've just done is we've obviously done our groups, our documents. When we get to the justification of argument, we're going to use this as our second sentence of our second paragraphs. Remember our little list? Explain what the group stands for? That's it. We just did it. So all we have to do is kind of copy it over. So the first 2 sentences of every paragraph are done. All right, here we go. You're going to finish what I don't finish today in class. All right, so here we go. Introduction. I'm looking at my prompt. During the time period, today for homework, you are finishing this. During the time period of 1880 to 2005, the British introduction of cricket to India played a major role in politics by creating a unifying force through India. As a tool for cultural imperialism and as a unifying nationalistic feeling, as a unifying nationalistic call to action. Here we go. There we go. So I've done my introduction. I've listed my 3 groups, and now I just need contextualization. During this time period, Britain controlled a vast empire that touched all corners of the globe. That allowed England to gain both economic and cultural superiority based on its influence around the world. There we go. Alright, so did my contextualization. We're just pointing out that England is all over the world, making all this power. Here we go. During the time period, whatever I do not finish in class is your responsibility. Everyone's clear on that, correct? Tomorrow it's due. During the time period of 1880, it should be 1880, not 1800. 1880, I fixed it at the top, by the way. 1880 to 2005. Looking at my groups here. During the time period of 1880 to 2005, cricket and its influence over politics. What did I just do? Restate the prompt. Cricket and its influence over politics was used as a unifying source for Indians against their colonial oppressors. Done. Okay? The desire to overthrow. Where am I getting this? Perfect. Overthrow the British comes from the frustration. Oh yeah, thank you. Damn it. I did that earlier too. Docs 4, 5, 10, and 8. Thank you so much. The desire to overthrow the British comes from frustration of suppression. and a rising sense of unity fostered by cricket. There we go. Perfect. All right. Here we go. Let's look at our documents here. So looking at 4 or 5. Okay, Indians. Okay. Document 4 shows the breaking down of the caste system due to cricket abilities. It's breaking down the caste system in order due to cricket. I don't know. Cricket what? Skill. Yeah, that's the one I need. Due to cricket skill. Okay. Can we do some outside evidence on this? Okay. Document 5. No? Okay. Document 5 shows that cricket helps unify the broken India to become more. These documents show the desire to unify and to look past traditional, in quotes, traditional Indian limitations. Okay, so I did document, so I've done document 4, I've done document 5. I'm going to look at 8. Doc 8 shows that even though these, quote, traditional limitations exist, that unification can and must happen. Okay, must occur. Document 10. Document 10. Document 10 shows that unlike other methods of unification, the common man and politician can unify behind a similar passion like cricket. Okay, so I've used all my point of views. I've introduced the docs and explained how they demonstrate support for the groups. I've written each of the docs' point of view. Now I'm looking for outside evidence, which is a good piece of outside evidence that looks at unifying force. Okay, what do you got, Ian? What's going to be your actual evidence, though? It's a little weak, man. What do we got? Come on, come on. Faster we do this. Abby? What about Gandhi? Using the word Gandhi isn't going to score you anything because it's all over this packet. Yeah, okay. So, eventually, the feeling of unity fostered by cricket will inspire political action led by Mohandas Gandhi. We have his name, so I'm going to try to write it right. Mohandas, Gandhi, who will lead a campaign of nonviolence against the British to gain Indian independence There you go. What is the outside evidence? The nonviolence. That's going to be the outside evidence. Well, no, because they gave me Gandhi. I'm not including the date because they gave me the date, right? Britain ends direct rule over India in 1947. The only thing that's going to score me points, and it is going to score, is the actual nonviolence. Does that make sense? Because they do give you a ton of information in this DBQ. Would you agree? Okay, so there you go. There's your first paragraph. So let's start with the second. During the time period, does this make you feel better? No? Period of 1880 to 2005. Cricket and politics blended together in order for the British to create cultural imperialism all over the the Indian subcontinent. And my groups are, there we go, docs. 1, 2, and 3. Done. The Brits use cultural imperialism to emphasize their control all over all aspects of their subjects' lives to increase their power, their own power. Where did I get that? Yep. Okay, so here we go. Document 1. Doc 1 shows that racial bias continues to exist even when they are adopting British culture and assimilating to their colonizers' demands. I'm going to cross out bias. I'm going to write segregation. I think it's a stronger word. There you go. Document 1's done. Turning to document 2. Doc 2 shows the ingrained bias against Indians reach even the peaks of social classes with the spectacle of having Indian royalty play cricket with British men. What was the other one? Document 3. Okay, British approved colonizing influence. Document 3 shows how much of a tool cricket was in improving the colonial influence over its subjects. The disregard and lack of respect for Indians can be seen with the descriptions of their travels. There you go. Alright, so the only thing you have to do to finish that paragraph off is outside evidence. That's it. Huh? You are so appreciative. No. Goodbye, have a nice day. All you have to do is write one paragraph by yourself. It should take you less than 20 minutes. Hello? How do we feel about DBQs? Pretty good?
This is a weird
Easily mess up like yeah. Like I basically summarized what we did in our practice exam.
See ya.
Yeah.